Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eddie and this is Do It For Yourself. Okay, so today I want to talk about a couple of items that I have here that really excite me. But before I get into these items, let me first say that I don't think that there isn't one American in this country that doesn't own a cooler of some kind. And if you're like me and you own a couple, 3 extra coolers that you put ice into, I think the biggest level of frustration is hoping that that ice doesn't melt with whatever you have in it. So for the longest time, I've always wanted to buy a refrigerator cooler that was a powered refrigerator cooler that you can plug into a wall or plug in directly into your cigarette lighter in your vehicle. And this is where this puppy comes in. Now, there's nothing to say that there's something wrong with just having a standard cooler. The coolers that the regular coolers that I have served my purpose. And I still use them today to some degree. But for long trips, short trips, tailgating, daily campouts, or even if you're just wanting something in the car because you live in a hot climate and you're gonna go to the store and buy something, or you think you might, and you might buy something and you want to put it in something cold so that you can stay out longer instead of having to come home right away, this is your ticket, okay? This is your ticket, guys. This particular refrigerator that I have here is not only a refrigerator, but it's a freezer. So many times I would go out with my homeboys or I would go out with my family and I would say, man, I would love to get some ice cream and still stay out and not have to go straight back home because, but I don't have anything to put it in to keep it frozen. Well, you can take this with you and keep it frozen. This will keep your ice cream frozen, okay? So I did a lot of research on coolers out there and I decided, okay, what is it that I wanted? I wanted something big enough that would hold some of the items that I typically store in a cooler, drinks, sandwiches, whatever, and yet not be so big that it would take up the whole back seat or a good size of the trunk. Now I do have another version of this, not by the same company, but it is big. Just a second, guys, gotta let my dog out. Okay, sorry about that. So after doing some research and looking at the reviews, I found this a cow tiki refrigerator cooler. And I'm gonna, in a minute, move the camera up closer so you can see some of the features that this has. But basically what it is it's basically just a refrigerator, but it's also a freezer. You can turn it into either one. And I have used it probably over a dozen times easily. I've kept it in the trunk of my car, and it keeps food pretty cold. Now the dimensions on the inside of this thing, tell you what, let me bring the camera over so we can see this in real time here. Okay. Okay, we're back. So the dimensions on this thing is approximately 9 5/8 tall, about 13.5 inches wide or long, and 9 and approximately 5/8 inches wide. So we got 9 5/8 by 13.5 by 9 5/8 deep. Deep. I said tall. Deep. So that's what the dimensions are in here. A lot of these videos were talking about millimeters and centimeters. I don't want to know that. I just want to know in inches how much room I actually have in here. It also comes with a compartment that stores your car plug attachment so that you can plug this directly from the cooler to the cigarette lighter and get power. to get your food cold, keep your food cold. And it also comes with a standard AC outlet. Okay, so if you want to go from here directly into an outlet from your house or outside on the patio, you can do that as well. The other thing this thing has, which is really cool, I mean, I think most people more or less know this, but it has a little chart here. I don't know if you can see that, but it has a chart. And on this chart, it shows, excuse me. All right. On this chart, it shows for meat what the cooler should be at in Celsius and in Fahrenheit. It also shows it for frozen food in general. It shows it for seafood, vegetables, cooked food, water, canned drinks, fruits, soft drinks, and alcohol. One side has all of the Celsius temps, and the other one has the Fahrenheit. I go by Fahrenheit because that's what I'm familiar with. All right. Set this back. The lid has a nice seal gasket around it. It also has a little clip that clips directly into this these two slots here so that it doesn't lift up by mistake. So you're good there. It has, over here, it has these two little, you can put a strap through these two inlets here if you want. It has a handle that you can lift the cooler from. And then it has this little chain that keeps the lid from falling back. This is, of all of the features that this cooler has, this is the one feature that I don't like so much because it appears that it's been screwed directly into the plastic. Maybe over time that can pull out on its own. I think if you're careful, it won't, but if it does, I suppose you could put a new screw in it. It just seems to me like it's, they could have maybe put some metal behind this screw to keep the fitting better. But yeah, that to me, this is a kind of a negative, but not a deal breaker is what I'm saying. These are all of your controls here. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to plug this in directly into the power station that I have over there, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the power station as well. So let's bring I'm going to shut the camera off, and then I'm going to bring it over, and we're going to go from there. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm sorry, I said I would show you how the Jackery power station worked and some of the features. Before I did that, I actually wanted to do a demonstration of how much we could fill this with food. All right, at least give you an idea based on the dimensions. So let's start with how about some yogurt? Things that you might take with you on a picnic. All right, put that in the corner over there. And then obviously you're gonna want some drinks. So we got these little Costco drinks. Now you may, I think that if you load it appropriately, you'll get a lot more space out of it, depending on how you put your food in it. So we got that. How about, let's pretend this is a sandwich, but this is just like chicken in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to show you an aerial view of it in a minute. How about some pickles? Can of pickles or container of pickles? How about some fruit? Everybody takes fruit with them. So we're going to put some fruit in the corner over there. And again, I'm kind of like putting it in just however. I'm not really organizing it like you could to get more room out of it. And some hot dogs. We got some hot dogs. So we got 2 pairs and a hot dogs. How about some apples? Put some more apples in there. I'm seeing a lot of room here, guys. How about some of these egg whites? If you're camping, you want to make some egg whites? We'll put that in there. Actually, we could probably put that just right there. How about some clam chowder, New England clam chowder? We'll put that in there. How about a whole thing of potato salad? All right. Let's see here. How about we put that like that? And again, you could probably organize this even better than the way that I'm doing it. I'm going to add a Gatorade drink to it. How about some dressing? Which, by the way, I'm going to plug this dressing in, even though I'm not really getting anything from it. It's called Marlin Swiss dressing. So if you guys are looking for a really good garlicky dressing, this is from their Portland base. They're pretty decent. How about that? How about some Townsend blueberries? I think we got this at Costco. I don't remember. Put that right in there. Of course, you got to have a candy bar. I don't eat these, but this was in the freezer, so I'm tossing it in. There's still a little room in there to put whatever on this side. Maybe you got some little crevices and stuff you can put stuff in, but this is kind of the way it looks like. Can you see that, guys? That's not bad. That's not bad, guys. I mean, this is really all you need if you're going on a day trip somewhere. And then it locks right in place. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn off the video here, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the power station. Okay, we are back. Okay, guys, so you saw a little bit about how much space we had in here with some real food items. Me putting some real food items into it. I think that's a pretty good, idea of what you're going to get if you decide to invest in one of these. Now, you have one of these, you're all set, you're ready to go, but you want to be even that much more portable. Well, let me introduce to you the Jackery 700 Plus power station. Just so you know, these two items, I might have mentioned it earlier. I got back back at the last Black Friday we had, so it was kind of a 2-for-1 deal for me. Just 1 second, guys. I let my dog out. My dog loves chasing the squirrels. Okay, one of these days I'll have to show you them. So right now I have this refrigerator / freezer cooler hooked up to this power station. And just so you know, there are a couple other features that this cooler has, like it has a couple of small little cup holders here. I mean, they're not, recessed really deep, but deep enough so you can fit your standard cup here. It's got handles on the side, and it also has 2 loops if you want to put a strap in it, okay? I don't think I mentioned that. So, so with the power station, that being said, with the power station, this is the Jackery 700 Plus. I bought this because I live in a really hot climate, and I wanted to be able to put this in my car, go wherever I wanted, and then not be in a place where I wanted to buy something cold but didn't buy it because I wouldn't be able to keep it cold enough until I got home. And I didn't want to come home right away. So for instance, there were times I went to Costco. You know how it is at Costco, right? You go to Costco and you go there for 2 or 3 items, and then you end up buying 10, right? So this is where a cooler comes in. You buy more than 1 item, or you even buy ice cream, but you don't want to come home right away. You're at a Costco somewhere in another city or whatever, visiting, but you want to stay out, and you can't do it, and you can't shop for a few food items because you don't have anything to keep it cold in. Well, with these 2 items, you can power this with this and keep it cold for days, a couple days easy, okay? So, so let's get into it. So basically, the 700 Plus has a few really cool features, okay? It says here it has a 2,000 watt peak power, and a 1,000 watt rated output and a whopping 2,000 watt peak power. So I think you'll get 700 continuous watts, but we'll go all the way up to 1,000 watts continuous. Like, it has this technology in there where it could do that, I suppose. I just know it works really well for me. You can do electric grills, power fans, mini coolers, drones. It has a rapid charge from 0 to 100 in less than 2 hours. And I can attest to that. I've actually charged this, recharged this, and it didn't take any time at all. It's got multiple AC outputs. So from what I see, you've got 3 AC outputs here. You got 2 USB-A inputs and 2 USB, or not USB, yeah, USB-C inputs in here. So 2 USB-Cs and 2 USB-As. It also has a really bright light. I'm not going to look at it because, got to turn it on. There we go. Now that I turn that on, it'll probably power that. Oh, that's not powered on, but you know what? We're going to turn it on anyway. It's plugged in. Oh, you got to turn this on. There's a little button here that tells these outlets to go on, and there's a button here that tells these inputs to activate. So we're going to turn this little button on. So now I can turn this on. And now the cooler is on. Now the power station is powering the cooler. Let's go deeper into the features here. Low power consumption. It says here it takes a year for the battery to drop from 30 to 20% in standby mode. It's shock resistant. It has a fire retardant. I guess if there's fire around it, there's some protection there. Of course, you wouldn't want to leave it in fire for too long, I wouldn't think. The other thing that sold me on this product was the battery. It has what's called the Life P04 battery system in it. It's supposed to last a lot longer, a lot more efficient, up to 10 years. I actually have like a Life P04 battery in one of my ATVs, and it's great. I love it. It says you can get up to 4,000 charge cycles out of it. Very user interface, which I agree. It is a very user interface. You could hook up a solar panel to it. So let's say you don't have an outlet to keep this, to get a trickle charge to it as you have it plugged into this or anything else, you can hook up a solar panel. I mean, it's just a very user-friendly system. Some of the things that I bought it for, one is it will show you exactly how much wattage it's using to power this cooler. Now, initially, it'll use a lot more wattage in the beginning to get it cold, but then once it gets it to the temperature, to the desired temperature that you set this at, which at this point I have it set at 36 Fahrenheit, then the wattage on this, the wattage will come down on this just enough to maintain the cooler temperature here, which is awesome. I mean, that's an awesome technology. Both of these units come with a downloadable app, which I would highly recommend you buy, or not buy, but you download. Right now it's pulling 35 watts. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see here. There we go. So 35 watts on that. Let's bring this up a little closer so you can kind of see. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. So we have a 99% charge on the battery in here, and okay. It's pulling 43 watts, Right now we're at 59 degrees Fahrenheit inside of here. I'm not going to open it, but it will bring it down, and it'll like I said, it'll adjust the wattage until it gets down to 36 degrees Fahrenheit here, and then the wattage here will go down to like 2 watts, 2 watts per hour or something like that, to maintain the temperature in here. The app is really cool. Hopefully I can pull it up. I had a hard time trying to figure out how to connect to the app, but I did eventually figure it out. So if you go to the Jackery app, it's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capable. So it shows you here that the app is connected to the Jackery and that it's at 99%. Oh, let's see, let's get this. Hopefully you can see that, and that's not too blurry. Okay, so it shows that it's at 99%. It's hooked up to an AC outlet. You can adjust the light that I showed you earlier here, either low light or high light or SOS. Looks like here you can put it on standby mode for 2 hours, for 2 minutes, or completely off. And that's pretty much it. It also shows that it's connected to the Wi-Fi right here. So it's a pretty straightforward app, guys. It'll give you a picture of your unit here to show that this is what you have, the Explorer 700 Plus, and that the battery charge is at 99%. It's got some really cool features, guys. What I think what I also really like about it is its simplicity. This will, right now it's at 56 watts. And it took me, the last time that I connected this power station to that cooler, it took me about 15 to 20 minutes to get it down to the temperature I wanted. So that's going to be pretty average. So yeah, guys, I think that if you're a traveler, if you're, a tailgater or whatever it is that you do in the outdoors, and you're looking for something that's, if you're looking for a cooler that will stay cold all day long, and you don't need ice for, and you just want to pack a few items, then this might be your go-to. If you're looking something if you want to be able to take this out of the car and take this wherever you want, you can get this as well. You don't need this exact one to power this. This 700 Plus is a very well-rounded power station. It got a lot of great reviews, and it was affordable for me when I got it. But you can get other power stations, smaller power stations, if you're just looking to power just the cooler, okay? This doesn't take a lot of wattage, about 43 watts in the beginning, and then it maintains it. Jackery's been around a long time. Their name is very well known among, people who are like outdoorsy enthusiasts, or whatever it is that you do. This is a very well-known brand name, and it's reliable. I don't know that I would go with an off-brand. Even if you don't buy this one, I would go with probably a company that's been around a while, like either Blue Eddy or Jackery. But the Jackery, I like. It serves my purpose. There are YouTube videos out there that get a lot more technical about these things, but at the end of the day, we just want to know how reliable it is and if it works for our purpose. And this works for my purpose. Anyway, guys, if any of these items interest you and you want to make the plunge into maybe trying a refrigerator cooler, I would highly recommend it. It will It's a game changer from using standard ice. And I'll leave the links in the description below. Also, please subscribe, please like, and if you have a comment or even any advice, or maybe I was wrong on some of this, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching.